Okay, something a little different today. I'm going to be painting on Kraft paper. That's K-R-A-F-T. I can't remember what size this is. It's pretty small, but this is something that I learned from Scott Christensen that he does, and it works really well, amazingly. And it's just paper, and I am painting oil on this. What's nice about it is it's very portable, easy to carry it around. The paint tends to dry fairly quick, and the oil paint amazingly does not soak through on the other side. At least I have not had that happen yet. Now I'm sure that if you put a gallon of medium or mineral spirits or something like that, it would soak through. But even when I thin this lightly with mineral spirits, I don't notice any. It'll soak through. You can see some stains on the other side of the paper, but it doesn't go through onto the next page. That's the part that's pretty amazing. In fact, I just finished another study and I just folded it over. And while a little bit of the oil paint will get in on the other side, it's not nearly as messy as you think. By the way, the colors on my palette: titanium white, nickel yellow, cadmium yellow light, cadmium orange, yellow ochre, transparent red oxide, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, looks like I need to replenish that, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, viridian, sap green, and this is Gamblin's Portland Gray Warm. I'm doing a painting marathon here in Montana. I'll be showing some of the beginning of this painting. If you want to watch the full thing, become a Patreon supporter. Click below. $5 a month. You can watch all my full-length plein air painting videos. It helps me to continue to justify the time and expense that goes into making these videos. I think I'm one of the only guys that does full-length plein air with commentary without time-lapsing it. But I could use some help financially on this. YouTube ad revenue is pretty pathetic. So anyway, click below if you want to become a member. If not, I hope you enjoy the time that you do watch this. And do me a favor, at least give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And leave a comment or question below. I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you're rude, I'll do my best to not type what I'm thinking. Never did understand why people make rude comments, but hey, that's the world we live in. So I'm gonna go in and want to get the light on these rocks. It's gonna change pretty quick. Let's block in some of that blue sky. I'm looking up. The horizon line is way off the bottom of the page. So I'm going to be looking up at some fairly intense blue sky. Because the higher you look up, more toward the zenith, the more intense the sky gets. I still want to make sure that I don't get too crazy dark with it. But I think I can go a little bit darker than that. There's some clouds floating over. Might try to leave a little bit of room to imply one of those. Which reminds me, I should probably take a bunch of photos of some of these clouds. Another thing that's nice about using this paper, besides the fact that it's very portable, very easy to store, and very cost effective. Normally I paint on oil primed linen, but that gets expensive, and I'm still doing that for a lot of my paintings here, but especially when I get up into the mountains. But if you just want to take some quick notes and things, and you're just not sure how it's going to turn out. You're not sure if you're ever going to need this. This could be a nice way to go. And I got this paper at Dick Blick, but any craft paper will work. You can get some off of Etsy if you want to support some of the artisans there who makes crafts and things like that. There, that blue is probably my most intense color. So I want to get that in. And my darkest darks are pretty much blocked in. That's very important for determining value masses and things like that. So let's go in and get an approximate. Let's wipe that off first. Let's go in and get an approximate of that rock color. First thing I'm going to aim for is value. One other nice thing, depending on how you paint, sometimes it's a hindrance for me, other times it's not, is the fact that you're painting on a fairly neutral tone with this craft paper. These partly cloudy days like this, it can be tricky because at some point I'm probably going to lose the light for a while. That'll be a good time to do things like replenish colors that I anticipate running out of, like this alizarin. Okay, let's block in a little bit of that, of those grasses. Squinting at the scene, try to get an approximate. Notice how I'm not trying to do anything really precise right now. This is all about value relationships. Value and color relationships. Got that clip there. I'm gonna have to paint around that. That's all right. Okay, I just put a little bit of some green into the bushes, and that green is definitely darker than the green on the ground, which is good. That's the way I should see that. Flatten that out, mess that up a bit. Let's go back in. There's a beautiful big cloud coming over the scene right now. Okay, let's leave that off for right now. Those clouds are going to keep moving in and out, and I want to get in my other primary value situation here. So I use that Gamlen's Portland Gray Warm as a really quick way to kind of tone down some things. Okay, step back, let's check the value and color of that. Not too bad. I think we can go a little warmer. So let's add a little more yellow ochre. Let's put a touch of that over here, see what that looks like. It's pretty good. We have something like this there. Put in some of these approximate shapes. Let's tone this down a little bit, go a little cooler, a little darker with that. Okay, I got this color on a little thick, so I'm going to just start lightly spreading it out to get it slightly thinner. Now this color that I put on is just a base. There's going to be a lot of adjustments made to this as I go. So this painting might not be as quick as I had originally anticipated, but where else do I have to be, right? That's why I drove all this way. Okay, so with this all blocked in, that needs to go lighter, that grass. So now's the time to really start analyzing my values. Squint at the scene, and when I squint at the scene, I look at my painting, I can see that this ground plane was too dark, and it needed a bit more ochre in it. If you look at the color of my palette, you'll see that it's not quite as green as you think. A lot of people paint greens really intense, and they shouldn't. Okay, we're gonna lose our, just lost our sun. Oh, looks like it might come back out just for a second. And it's gonna go away again. Okay, so now's a good time to work on some of the drawing things. So I don't need the precise colors and values to carefully merge some of these shapes with like the trees and things like that. In fact, this is a good time to soften some of these cloud edges. And let's put in a smaller cloud there. Okay, now I can tell you that this here is definitely too dark. I purposely did that because, especially when you're trying to paint fast, it's easier to lighten up oil paint than it is to darken it for the most part. So I have a base to work off of to lighten those shadows, and it's really the color and value in these shadows that I want to capture. So we just right now have a starting point. All this I'm probably not going to worry about. I'm just out here to just get some quick notes of color and value, which is another reason why I like using this Kraft paper if I'm dealing with a situation where there might be constantly changing light. You know, if this painting ends up being a failure, no big deal. It's just one cheap piece of Kraft paper that I can throw away if I want to, or use it for the information I was able to capture. So anyway, I'm going to stop now for the YouTube crowd and proceed to my exclusive Patreon members who get to watch the whole video. If you want to see the rest of this, click on the link below, become a Patreon supporter, $5 a month. You can see all my videos. Some of my old ones I'm going to be migrating over there for Patreon viewership only. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, question below, and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.